All right, and we are back, and ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honor to sit down with my friend, an absolute legend, Gill Lindsay. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Listen, the honors on mine. It's been a long time coming, man. You've been going back and
Oh,
forth on
definitely.
this for a while. So yeah, and here we are, right? It's
Yeah.
first and foremost, I just want to say, I told you this right before we went live, man. It's an honor to see you at every racetrack. I get smile on my face, nothing but hugs, and when we get opportunity, we sit there and chat it up. I understand you're busy the whole weekend. It's hard to really sit down and have a deep conversation, but yeah, here we are, my friend.
Yes.
Love it. I love it. So
Feels
listen,
good.
dude, I appreciate it, man. Me and you
I
got to
appreciate you.
thank you, man. Thank you. Uh, listen, me and you got a lot to talk about, bro. So let's just jump into it, man. Tell us your story. Like where did it all start for you on two wheels?
Well, it all started in Long Island, centralized Long Island, and not too far from Deer Park. And I was kind of late coming to the actual motorcycles. When I was coming up, I moved from Queens, New York to Long Island, and I was always wanted to be into motorcycles, but of course my mother didn't want anything to do with that. Nothing at
Mama's
all.
never
So I
wanted to
just was
do
like trying to
anything,
sneak
right?
around on some friends' bikes, was mini bikes, and trying to ride around like that. But then after I got to Long Island, when I was dating at the time, her brother had a ZX6, an older one. It was like a 1996, and I didn't know. I never rode it before changing gears. I knew how to drive a stick, so he was like one down, five up. So that's what I did. Went down, ripped down the block, came back, and the first thing I said, I got to get one of these, and that's how it all started. Then, yes.
I love it, man. I love it. That. Actually, that was the first street bike I ever bought was a 1996 ZX6R.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It
Okay.
was firecracker red. I'll never forget it. She was the
Oh,
love of my
wow.
life, the first one, right?
Yes. It was it was green, and then I don't know. I just after that I was hooked.
It's it's crazy, Lloyd. When we sit, I mean, Jill, I just got Lloyd on my brain. But because of your hat, right? It's funny that when we get into motorcycles, we don't realize how much it's going to change our lives and the beautiful people we're going to meet and the friendships and family we make along the way. Um, and over the years, we really don't. It for me, I didn't realize it, and it just hit me one day, and I was like, "What a life!" Right? Like, what an honor it is to be in this beautiful circus and meet all these beautiful people and friends and family and the stories you get to tell by hanging out with everybody. I tell everybody like this, Jill. It's a beautiful circus, but it's the only circus in town where the clowns got to pay to play, right?
Right. That sounds about right.
Facts, right? That's exactly what it is. So, you riding a ZX6R from the first time? What was your first bike you bought?
The first bike I actually bought, I actually buying that after my he didn't want it anymore. He wanted to move step up, so I actually bought that bike off of him. you know.
I
And
love
then
it.
after that, from running around, because we were both into the actually he was mostly into the street, but then I got more into watching the races on like then the races on ESPN and all that other stuff than actually the AMA. So I in 2000 after when how this sell on win on Sundays, buy on Monday. So I was just watching that, and I'm like, you know what? Back then, Jake Zemke and Curtis Roberts were on Arian, so Curtis Roberts won the Formula Extreme Championship. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get that bike, not knowing then, that that's not the same bike that they're on. So I was just waiting for it to get delivered to the dealership. It was brand new in the crate and everything. I kept going back and forth. I just couldn't wait to get my hands on that. And then when it was ready for delivery, I picked it up, got my helmet. I was always into the gear. I know a lot of guys riding around. I had my helmet, but some boots, gloves, all into safety because a lot of them guys around down there, t-shirts on, and I would see what would happen to them on the weekend. So then that got me onto to the street. But then back and forth, and I had met Lloyd a few years before that, and We were just ripping up and down. That was like our racetrack, going up and down the parkways and the highways of New York, and places basically Long Island. And he was just incredible, man. So fast and doing wheelies at 100 miles an hour, coming up and down there late night. Just was just our run every other night, heading back to Deer Park, Long Island. We all met up at this one bike spot and 7-Eleven. And there were a couple of guys there. There were actually three of them. You know, they're called U New York Fastest, and Lloyd was one of them. And I just, after a while, I said, you know what? We got together one night, and I went by his house, and he had posters of these races in there. Had a big poster of Kevin Swanson's suit on there, and I'm like, wow, I'm into that too, because not too many brothers, you know, into when they see us, they think of you drag racing. You know, big shout out to Ricky Gatz and everything, which we met eventually afterwards. But no, we was like, it's over in seconds. We want the elevation changes, the apex is coming in, decreasing radius, and that was just more excited us. And so we were actually that minority amongst those, and they were looking at us like we were crazy. But we just had so much fun on the highways and stuff. We just couldn't translate it to the track.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you want me to keep going, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It's all in my head and just trying to get everything together. Now I know I'm
No.
gonna miss a few parts and bits because there was so much that happened, and that got us to the point of actually being on the track. And and another friend of ours was one of the motorcycle closers, and he was tell, you know, we would tell, I would tell Lloyd, you know, but it's so expensive, can't afford it. So he's like, you know what, do what jobs change and make some more money. But it was just, once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. So we had in 2006, we got some money together and we went to the Penguin Racing School. Big shout out to the Wood family, Eric, and we went to the, you know, Penguin Racing Road Racing School, and it was to be that largest turnout that weekend. And Lloyd and I were prepared because that's what, you know, that was our passion, also what we wanted to do. So of course, you know, it was like 40 people in that one rookie race, and all I was worried about was the man said just do 3 laps and you get your race license. Lloyd, of course, won the rookie race, and then I think I came in like 20th or something. I just wanted to be able to just, and Lloyd was looking at me like, why are you waiting that long lunch line in turn one? I said, the man said, don't crash in three laps and you'll get your race license. That's all I was worried about. So then that took off to the next day. We stayed and they actually had a rookie race. And of course, Lloyd won that too. So after that, the bug was in there. We packed up and was heading back to New York, and was like, the next morning I got a call, or the afternoon I got a call from Lloyd, like, hey, we're gonna go, let's find another race, go back, go have another race. But he was just really kind of upset about, because at that time he was all on the 1,000, and he was trying to tell me to get a 1,000 because, you know, I was just like, I don't care. You know, Curtis Roberts won the Formula Extreme race with that. The bike is fast. You know, I'm gonna be able to keep up with you and all this, but no, you know what I'm saying? It was a total different class. And like I said, once knowing now in the paddock what I know, that's not the same bike, but it'll give you an idea. And that's, like I said, win on Sunday, you sell on Monday, and they definitely did it. They had me.
That was
So
the
then
back in the
he
old
found out.
golden days.
What's that?
That was back in the golden days of racing. Sell on race, win a race on Sunday, buy on Monday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that whole thing changed well in 2009. That's a whole different story there. But he looked up the race weekend for the Loudon, and it was only give one race to 1,000s. And he wanted, like, wow, it was only one race there. So we came back and we spoke to them. It's like, well, one weekend they had 7 broken collarbones from guys on 1,000s going around the track at Loudon. You know, it was just, people just high siding like crazy. So then he did that. Then about a week later, he would call me up. Hey, Gil, I found this track in Summit Point, West Virginia. We never been out of that. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, where is it? He said, somewhere. He said, you want to go? I said, you want to go? We go. So we packed up there, went, and he didn't know anything about the track. Neither did I. We get there after work, drive 6 hours. Then we go to, and it was packed. You know, I had enough time to just drop him off for registration. And Lloyd's standing there looking around, don't know the direction of the track. I'm trying to set up our little canopy. And that's how it all started then too. And he went there and just started ripping it as an amateur. And until one weekend he came back and like, who was this yellow plate up with the white plates? And that was Lloyd. You know? And that's just brief from reading even the well, I'm kind of skipping some stuff here, but anyway, he wound up finding this book by Keith Cole, Twist of the Wrist, and I had it too. And we were both reading it. It's just weird because I showed up one night at his house. He said, "Look at this book I found." I said, "Look at this book I found." So we started reading it. And that's basically how we learned about it. And just that was it. After going to the Penguin School, which was very good and informative, which we had, got a lot of knowledge from that. But just the experience of just getting down there, and I had no suspension. I was on that 929. The guys barely put that stuff together for allowing me at night. They tried to fix my belly pan. They wired some what are those tin pans that you use to cook food in. These guys were like, "Gil, you came up here this weekend at Loud and you're gonna race." And that just to pass tech, they were up to like midnight. I'm like, busting the guy. That's what I'm saying. People don't realize it's a different family out here, this road race family. It's a different type of environment and people. And once you're there, your family, and everybody just chip in to try to get you out there. Even with the tires, couldn't afford that either. I was on used tires, and so actually he was too, which he had later on perfected and trying to stay out there. That's from trial and error, crashing on the weekends. But yeah, he just, the whole thing was just trying to just be out there. And then once I said it was in you, it's in your blood, and that's all we just were thinking about all week. Go there, come back broke, find out when the
Real
next
broke.
race day.
Right? Yeah. Figure out how we're gonna make it to the next track section for
Yes,
sure. Yeah. Yeah, man. Everybody's got their own beautiful story into racing, and you're right. You are absolutely right. The beautiful circus, the people you meet, the family you meet along the way. It is a very much a unique family. 110%. You are
yes.
right about that, my friend. We actually have a couple comments coming in here. One by the legend William Posse. What is up, my man? He says, Jill is sexy.
You know something? I seen him work. I seen his name on the entry list one weekend. Then I go back again. Then I see him on a bike this weekend. So he's still out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I seen him. I ran into him at Azra at VIR. He actually I bought an Insta 360 gimbal because he let me borrow his, I think it was a DJI gimbal. And I actually had a podcast I was going to do for my car there at the track, and he let me borrow it. And I was like, dude, I got to get one of these. But yeah, huge fan of Will. He's a absolutely amazing human being. My son's a huge fan of his too as well. He actually took a picture of me and of him and Rossi and sent it to me. It's one of my favorite pics. Super cool.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, dude. William Posse is an absolute
Yeah,
legend in
definitely
my
good
book for
people.
sure. Um, yeah, good people, very good people. He also says Lloyd heart and prayer, amazing racer, father and man. I never had the honor to meet Lloyd. I wish I did. Um, and then we got Michelle. What is up, Michelle? It was so much fun to hang out with you at VR. It says it was great to meet you this weekend at VR, Gil.
It was definitely good to be back there. I was happy they put that back on the schedule.
Yeah, man, me too. I think everybody missed it. It's my home track, so
That's basically mine now. I live in Raleigh, so I wasn't too far from there, as
that's right.
opposed to the next round and then Coda after that. But just blessed, man, and happy to actually meet up with because back then we can go back to 2006 when he actually got the sponsorship from. Shout out to X Power Motorsports. They're no longer around, but Dennis Paglowan got a little disagreement when we both when he left. But if I could reach out to him, I apologize to him. But he definitely looked out. The man had me, and they did some ride across America to the MotoGP round. Actually, when Nicky Hayden actually won that weekend, and I was there. So appreciate him and the whole crew that they had at that shop. But then he had called me. Lloyd had called me that one evening, and lives in Deer Park, and then right around the corner the shop was open. So he come and get over here now. I've got this guy that wants to sponsor me. So I'm like, okay, who is this? So I got in the car and drove like maybe 25 minutes, and special out to Dave Bright of Chronic Motorsports. Yes. And we sat down and talked, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, pay for this. We had everything together about, yeah, we want to sponsor him. I heard Lloyd's fast. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna do this racing. So I got hired onto the shop there. I was mostly going around and picking up bikes and bringing in from all over the neighborhoods and even going into the city or even Brooklyn and stuff and picking up mics and because we had a nice crew there. Frank Matera was also a mechanic. Tom Sponge nicknamed SpongeBob, and we had a whole crew there that was small enough, but we did what we did, and we went to a few rounds, and he actually sponsored it, and we actually did that whole AMA because it was strange enough that Lloyd got moved up. I mean, he was just running with these guys that I think he went to expert within by the end of the season. Because like, why have him back there and in the amateur side when he's up right up there with these experts? And then the following year, we applied for his AMA license, and then we were doing AMA Superstar.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? Do you know who Danny Duncan is?
No.
He's like the funniest guy you'll ever see.
You remember this guy, don't you, Jill?
How you
You
doing?
need one of his T-shirts. He has T-shirts that say "I heart hot moms."
I love it.
I want one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Bro.
All right, bro. Rah.
Dude, you gotta watch him.
This guy right
He's
here.
like-
Listen, I'm
and
dropping
he-
him off at K-Tex next round. We're at.
Listen, he had like
Okay.
a friend. and
Come
he's
on
like,
by.
He's so funny.
We'll be waiting
Awesome.
for.
And then his friend is like, he was from Tokyo, and he has that traditional accent. Like the one like the stereo. I can't say that word.
Stereotype.
Yeah, I have dyslexia. Bro, I can't do it. Okay, whatever that is. Listen. Oh, never mind.
This guy.
I love
right
you.
here. I love you too. Anyway, Rossi always makes an appearance on the podcast. He always comes in and just busts in and da
That's
da
all
da da
good.
da da. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's life. It's real stuff, right? So I love it.
Right.
And everybody loves it. It's funny because I'll go to the track and he's not with me. The first thing people say is, "Where's Rossi at?" And I'm like, "What am I, chopped liver over here?" Right? They're like, "Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Where's Rossi at?"
Right.
Anyway, sorry for the interruption.
No, not at all, man.
Continue your story.
Where was I?
You were
What?
talking about the sponsorship with Lloyd. The guy
Oh,
called you
yes,
25
yes.
minutes.
Yeah, we wound up at Daytona doing that. Excuse me. Then we went to different rounds, and here's a kid straight guy right off the street. I mean, qualifying at tracks he never even seen before. Well, when we're doing the CCS Azure at the time, and I think we did a couple Wira, we were familiar with with Daytona. So a funny story with that is we go there, and it's the first practice for the 1000 stock 1000. So Lloyd gets out there, boom, man, and then all of a sudden there was a red flag. So we're looking like, what happened? So it was Lloyd, and I asked him, well, what happened? He had a little side. He said, I was just so excited. I had butterflies in my belly. Of course, you hear with AMA pros, and Aaron Yates was his favorite racer at the time. Came by him, and he was struck like, I'm in this actual track with Aaron Yates right now after a year of just, you know what I'm saying? And we just laughed about it, put the bike back together, and then we did what we did. But it was just funny how that happened. And we told that story to him maybe a year later when, actually, one of the crew chiefs that was actually with the Yoshimura's. Special shout out to Rodney Rayburn. To this day, we still talk to him about it. And Lloyd used to conversate with him almost every day, getting feedback from him. He's actually in one of the videos when we went to New Orleans in 2012. And he was an instrumental part in, tuning and helping Lloyd with all the many questions about the bike and everything else. And he actually, was actually Aaron Yates crew chief at one time and Yoshimura, where Sally's not part of the paddock anymore, but it was definitely different back then to see a factory. I mean, the paddock was just insane, but I'm glad that we're actually experiencing it now. But a lot of the younger cats coming up now, they have no idea how factory, Kawasaki, Ducati, then you had satellite
Honda.
teams.
Yep.
I'm talking 2007. And I actually first went to one of the tracks because my daughters and everything, they had moved down to Georgia, Atlanta, and I went to the Road Atlanta in 2003. And I got photos of Nicky Hayden and his brothers, Roger and Tommy and all of them, and I had just exposed them like this is it. This is your fault. This is my passion. And I want you, let y'all know and just experience what I go through. Because a lot of I've seen some fast guys down there who, you know what I'm saying, next thing you know, giving ultimatums by the wives, either me or this race and stuff, and they're gone, It is, you know what I'm saying? I get some of it, but man, come on now. We'll figure something out. What do you like doing, baby?
That's
What I'm
right.
saying?
That's right. Hey,
But
we're in this
don't
together.
rob
We'll
this man
figure
of
it
his
out.
passion right here, and he wants his whole family part of it. But that's a whole other story too. I might have some wives a little bit, angry at me, but hey, you'll see them at the track. Then a couple of them helped me out when I brought my daughters to the track. We'll have them play with their kids and pull up and like, hey, don't worry about it. Go ahead and do what you got to do. But yeah, it's just family, and like I said, that race family is thick and it runs deep.
Listen.
I'm listening.
Does it sound good?
Yes, it sounds funny. I'll let you listen to it after this.
No, I'm opening it.
Do you have any kids, bro?
Yes, I do. I got daughters,
listen
man.
to it real quick because I want to kiss go.
So yeah, me and this guy right here, we do everything together. Like we spend all our time together. It's he's never not without me. I'll put it to you like this: if there's a place that he cannot go, I don't go.
Listen, I have $4.75 in my Venmo account.
Cool. I got $4.75 in my Venmo account. I'm rich.
So then I'll have, when I do all my chores and I get the money on Friday, I'll have $29.75.
Okay.
Too bad.
Why don't you go do some of those chores then?
What chores? You didn't assign me to do anything. What am I going to go? Mop the floor? Lift the walls?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go out there and mop. Hey, listen, go wash my truck.
No! It's like 6. It's 6:30.
It's okay.
Yeah, Mom? Okay, fine.
It's hilarious. Do what?
I feel it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, he good. He good. He good. Nobody this day and age understands the glory days back when it was AMA, when all the full factories, man, we had such good Formula Extreme. That was one of my favorite classes. What a class that was, Nowadays, you show up to the track like VR. Saturday it was pretty decent turnout. Saturday, Sunday, it was like it was a beautiful day Sunday, but it was like half the crowd was there.
Right.
It's nothing like it used to be, that's for sure.
Yeah. There were people leaving early. Like even when the BTR girl, that was their last race, the championship. And it's kind of, people talking about, but I really expect more people be at the podium like it used to be. But if you look around, there was a lot of camping going on. It really was a good turnout. I was compared to, to nowadays with, people don't really come out and participate. But I don't know the numbers, but it looked like it was a nice crowd there.
Yeah, it was a decent crowd. I just wonder if the baggers were there, if more people would have showed up, the bagger racing.
Oh, that's right. It's a series. I think Mid-Ohio is going to be a good turnout too.
I know. I can't wait to go. So I will see you in a week, my friend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. I will be there. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. I love it. My buddy Dustin has a question. He says, 2003, was that the year Mladen's rear tire delaminated at the 200? I think it was. It was one of those years. And that's the reason why. Isn't that the reason why they stopped racing the 1000s at the 200? Is because that.
So,
Dunlop. And then Ben Spees had a blowout on one too at like 180 mile an hour on the banking, I remember, if I remember correctly.
Did Nicky Hayden, was he on that RC? I think that thing was chewing up tires too, even in a regular race.
Yeah.
I guess they deemed it too dangerous.
Yeah.
And dropped it down to the 600s. But yeah, that was back in the day. You're right. The 1000s was ripping around there.
Dude, imagine that right to this day. It'd be
only way you're gonna get that is a club event.
Facts, right? Which is crazy. Like they'll hold a club race there, but not Moto America. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So, you know, you what was your main thing with Lloyd? Like, was you his head mechanic, engineer, suspension guy, or
I made it because he was mainly self-taught. It was just a supporter coming down there and wrenching on, helping him with the tires and other thing. Because we had a little disagreement one time where I had left something loose, and I thought about it. He was angry, but Lloyd was the type of guy we can go back and forth, and then 10 minutes later come back like nothing happened, you know. And I thought about it. This man's life was at risk right now. So whatever, we had agreement. I take it off and you put it on.
I like that. That's
You're
teamwork.
responsible for that. And I didn't, I can only imagine just going out there and like, whoa, what's happening? Is this loose? I mean, this happened to other teams or whatever. I'm sure it's to certain people, but that happened one time and it really struck me. I'm like, man, this is not, I know he needs some help. He's usually sometimes I wasn't able, like in 2013, 14, I was never make him to certain events. Well, other than that, it was just him and I bouncing up. And then his father later on, shout out to Mr. Bailey. He was riding with him all the way to Black Hawk Farms and go there and rent and drive all the way back to Florida where they stayed and then go to work the next day, Actually go there and win the race, win the day going endurance. Back then it was actually a team challenge. He was doing it solo. So they would nickname him Iron Man and everything else, but that's just basically him in this nutshell, and being able to just on used tires, be able to know how much you can get out of it. And shout out to Dunlop, Corey, Tony Romo, the rest of the crew, Steve, all the ones up in West Hampton. I know I'm up in New Hampshire. I'm missing some names, but they really helped them out. And even to go back as far as when Dave Brubaker was running it, and there's a funny story about that too. They, some of these guys, who had the finance to come there and spend and buy a whole weekend on tires, but Lloyd couldn't afford it, so it was just like he would go through the used tire pile and then pick them out and decide, which was testing, and then he would beat these guys in a race on their old tires. So they went back complaining to him. Say, hey man, we done spent $3,000, $4,000 a weekend, and you're letting them take off those old tires. So Brubaker was like, well, you're gonna have to beat him. He doesn't have the money. The guy has a passion to be down here. He can't afford to do this. Then later on, you got the sponsorship and little help, got some help from Dunlop, but they just didn't know. We just wanted to be there, man. We put our entry fees and just listen. I can figure how much I can get third place with this tire, or put me on a new set. I can get up closer, but he just had it down to a science. Then you had other guys trying it and they were crashing. When he done did all the practice and those, the compounds, he just studied everything, even the suspension and everything on his own. It was just him and I, and then help, like I said, on the phone talking to Rodney every day. That'll help you out too.
The dream team.
And it's just, it was just a process coming from, a long way. And then people don't realize how expensive this sport is.
It's very expensive. Yeah, that's
one
one misconception.
is there, and you try. We used to just make a way happen. After I took care of whatever I had to, and it's like, hey, this is what we got. Clock out on Friday, scrambling around and drive to VIR. I mean, the first time I went to VIR, I didn't know that track either. We were standing. I used to just drop them off at registration. I go trying to find a place to park. And back then, the paddock was gravel and sand. We was sleeping on rocks and everything and sleeping bags and what I'm saying, and getting up and then going and like, which way is the direction of this track? I mean, what's track? What's the and then get out there and practice and then finally get a whole figure it out. And that was just figure it out. 2 rounds of practice and getting that race, and that was it.
I could see where people would be getting mad by you picking up their old tires they didn't wanted and going out there and beating them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, step up your game.
Right.
All right. Step your game up. Don't cry about it. Be about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. It's yeah, man. It sounds like you and Lloyd are absolutely Batman and Robin, a dream team.
Yes, definitely. And if they go by, I don't think about them, but it is what it is, man. Definitely miss him now.
Yeah, that's one of those unfortunate circumstances in our sport. It happens.
Yeah.
That is the ugly truth of our sport.
Yeah.
Anything. It don't matter if it's car racing, motorcycle racing, whatever it is. That is the inevitable. I mean, it happens sometimes, right?
But with him, it was. I think if he had to go, that would the way he would want to go at the track.
Oh,
And I was just blessed to actually be there. It was a reunion that I haven't been to Homestead in how many years? Back to 2007 was the last time we were there. So it was just, and I remember telling them because Gill is coming down. They were like, yeah, okay. We met up, and that was it.
love it.
Loaded up the van and headed down there.
So
Yeah,
you guys traveled the United States for 10 years together?
maybe even more. I think when we first went to Loudon was 2006, and then from 2007 on. Oh, and then 2009, remember they had that's when we were riding for Chronic Motorsports. Dave Bright and the crew, and he did the Daytona at night under the lights, and that only lasted that 1 year. And he was kind of bummed out because he's always a 1,000 guy, and he got on there. I'm like, Lloyd, you finished the race, man. How many people didn't finish the race? Out of
Right.
about 80 people, that grid was insane that year. I think it was almost like 79 people on the grid, and you wound up like. Fuck, I looked through. I had the results somewhere. I think he wound up like 40th or something. He was all like, "I'm like, yo, dude, you finished the race, man." That's the top guy that even have DNFs, but that's that competitor in people. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the different sides, like, hey, look at this $3 million setup with the crew. That's what he always looked at too. And it's just you and I, man. We're still here. We're showing up all these different rounds doing what we're doing. That's the passion for the sport and just being there. You just had to make it happen.
100%. And and I tell everybody it's not the destination, it's always the journey is the best
Yes,
part of it.
most
It's
definitely.
because when you finally get to the destination, you blink your eye and the weekend's over and you count on that journey again, right? So
Right. Looking
yeah,
forward to, hey, let me check my calendar. What's coming up next?
right.
Even now,
two
we had a meeting
weeks.
earlier, like, oh, what's going on? Well, I already calculated over from here. The middle of Ohio is like 9 hours. Then from there, I hang out with Mark over there. He's not too far from the track. Got enough room with that big, nice semi y'all got now. Can I fit the little K-Tech Sprinter and trailer? Sure, we do it again like I did last year, and then just drive from there to Coda. And
I
that was
love it.
last year was my first time there, so I definitely felt happy and privileged to be down there. That place is awesome.
Code is
They're doing a lot
absolutely
of
amazing.
reservations there, man. It's on a roller coaster there and all types of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Coda's. I've been there for the past 7 years for the MotoGP race. It's
Oh
absolutely an
yeah,
amazing track. It's So I tell people I'm like, when you go to MotoGP race, it's nothing like Moto America. I mean, absolutely nothing. You can't bring your pit bikes and your scooters and all that. You're walking everywhere.
oh
You have no
wow,
choice. Yeah,
right,
you can't ride any of that. In order to mainly meet the riders, you got like a pit walk that everybody goes on, but it's very few, riders that come out and do a meet and greet because they're busy because it's during lunchtime. Where Moto America, it's mandatory that all the riders go out during lunch break or that allotted time where they
right.
sign for pictures and autographs. It's not like that. You got to buy a pit pass that's $350 and it's limited because they can't allow everybody back there. And then you can meet everybody.
I
Um,
can imagine.
yeah, but Coda's absolutely a beautiful place. It's just like, first year I went to Laguna Seca was a 2005 and, you see the corkscrew on TV, but then when you're there in real life and you're looking
Yeah,
up at it, you're like, oh my God, it is steep, right?
right,
Um, TV don't do no tracks any justice at all.
right.
So yeah, it's beautiful, man. How did you like Kodos? Absolutely amazing. The facilities, it's just, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, I had got there that night. I haven't had the privilege of just riding around on it. Hopefully, I will one day. But I did sneak out there and walk the track. Just walk the track. I did that at Laguna too. My second, that was like, yeah, last year was my first time there since 2006. And I'm like, you know what? Because when you're working, you never get a chance to do things like that, even though it goes different turns and watch, but you don't. But now I was like, you know what? I'm walking the track.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you show up on the weekend thinking, oh, I got time to go do this and I got time to go do that. And
Right.
absolutely not. It's just so busy. The weekend's always so busy.
Right.
And plus, we're there with our friends and our family, and time just flies by when you're having fun.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Let me get back to a comment. Dustin says 2003 was the year Mladen's retired. Oh no, sorry, Dustin. That was the first question. He says I was wrenching for Brian Lavengood. Man, I remember Brian when he did delaminated along with Mladen's at Road Atlanta. Yeah, that was a funny year for Dunlop because they were having a lot of tire issues.
Right.
On the 1000s particularly. I don't remember any major issues on the 600s at all, to be honest. And then we got the legend Eli Colby. What is up, my man? He says, my boy, Gill.
Hey.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, everybody that talks about Lloyd says nothing but love about Lloyd. That's all I hear is how great he was, how good of a friend he was, how big of a personality he had, the effect he put on people's lives when he met them.
Right.
That's part of the journey. And I tell
Right.
people that's what people are going to remember you by, not your trophies, not how many championships you got, your lap records, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, you're going to remember who you were as a person and the love you spread around and the mark you left on people.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's an absolute honor for you to be on that journey with them.
Yes, I definitely appreciate it, and he's well missed. And I just had a vision for him to even to the next level. Of us just pulling up in one of those semis and he not having to wrench or do anything. Driving all through the night to get to where you got to go. But hey, we did have a run, and he had fun doing it too. I was there with him too, and he had the fun, and he was just kept doing what he did and just taking home trophies, building good relationships, and just on a what do you call it? One interview, a shoestring budget, which most
Shoot.
privateers. You know what I'm saying? People don't realize that. Without certain sponsorship, and you got to give props to those that, hey, I even broke it down to him too. I said somebody just came and paid for your tires that weekend, for your entry fees, the little things like that. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps.
100%. People don't realize how expensive this sport is. They really don't. They show up and they see, whoever walking around in this leather suit with all these patches and sponsors on it, and they get their autograph and picture, and they're like, "Man, I bet he makes a lot of money." I'm like, "Nah, bro. His parents are paying a lot of money for them to be there. It's the total opposite." It's funny because back in the golden era, teams would approach you or Lloyd and be like, "Hey, we want you to be on our team. We're going to give you X amount of money to represent our brand and ride our bikes." Now it's completely opposite. It's, well, how much money are you going to pay us to ride our bike and wear our clothes and give us advertisement? I'm like, wait, what? Where did this get asked backwards at? Like, where did this disconnect happen? We need to get back to those days.
Yeah. But in 2009, that whole stock market crash and everything, and who had money to buy motorcycles, it was kind of rough. That's what really changed most of it. And then slowly building back up, but it's not the same. You're right. It just got reversed.
Yeah.
And then we had some few opportunities, but everything always fell through. So we got to the point where, hey, you know what? Just gonna keep doing it. Gonna build his own brand, the LB, and just build his own brand and just keep coming out, and try to get as much little sponsorship as you can from anyone. You know what I'm saying? But if people just came to, like I said, if some guys came and say, "Hey man, I'm gonna buy you a set of tires for this race or this weekend," every little bit, and you appreciate it and show them the love.
100%. But that's, go ahead.
The budget is the budget.
Hey, we got $500. That's it, and the tires are $450. Man, it's cool, man. We got ramen noodles and raw hot dogs or what bread, whatever. We'll make it work.
We here.
That's it. That's all that matters, and that's, again, the beautiful journey, my friend. And so with you, how did the whole K-Tech thing, and how did you get into suspension to begin with? Obviously, you helping Lloyd out, you being a rider yourself. Was suspension something you was always into, or did you just kind of like fall into it?
No, I just was falling. I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just basically piggybacking over what Lloyd was like. If it gets some use tire, that's a good tire there. Because I couldn't afford any tires. Put that one on there. Put that one, and basically it was just whatever he would suggest to me, I would do. And he was he was on a different suspension at the time. He switched over to, I think it was after 2012 when he did the race. It was actually AMA Pro then. The race that was probably a home track in Jersey, and Rodney came over and he was helping out, and then something they didn't like, so he was just like, "Well, listen, you know what? We got back, and plus, Skip at Orient, we were dealing with Skip down from Orient Express / K Tech from way in the beginning. We were getting parts from him. His shop was only like 15 minutes away from where we lived, so I was in the Chronic shop, and they was there sending me back and forth, and get parts from him. So then we put two and together. I was like, hey, I guess give y'all say, hey, try this K Tech stuff. And he did, and he liked it. And after that, that was it. And that's how that whole became that way. We just switched over. I'm like, what's this you want? He said, K Tech, man. I'm like, who's giving that? He said, Skip is the US distributor for it. And he said, this is some good stuff. And he just stuck with it. He learn more on his own. I mean, he still got parts and tools, springs and everything, which I was able to come across and going through his garage and certain things that was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can use this, whatever you don't want, just talk to the wife, just whatever you don't want, just give it to me. It'll stay with be in good hands. But as far as that, and then it was Christian actually who was working. Christian Price who was working in the shop also. He's awesome guy, used to build the engines for Chronic, and he even did some stuff for, I think when Mesa was down with Triple Crown. That was an offspring of Chronic Motorsports. And he had the other rider, Paul Allison. We did a 2 seasons with him. Shout out to Paul Allison, Paulie. So he with Springboard, let me see now. Oh, so then Christian was at the shop like a couple of years ago. After about 2010, Chronix Motorsports, they sold the shop and everything else. The race team was done. And for like a year or two, it was just Lloyd and I just rode, by ourselves, just traveling, doing what he had to do, just to get out there on the track. And then Christian reached out to me, hey, Gill, what are you doing? Because I used to drive the transporter and everything for Chronic Motorsport. We were going around doing the AMA thing, the rounds, and some club stuff. And we went to Weira. So I was like, what? He said, we got a program going with the K Tech, and we're gonna be traveling on. And that's how I got on board last year. And everything just fell in, So he's like, we're getting the band back together, like one of those things. So it was good. Now, like I said, I appreciate being on there. And Skip's a good person, and we just sync together. They trust me. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to the track on time, and even if it's behind time, I still get you on time and set up and just do what we got to do. And like I said, everybody's watching, so he hasn't had any bad reviews about me. So I still got a job. And we got a good crew over there. Kendall. We got Kendall there. We got Birch. We got Dakari. And we got on board Willie this year. Yeah. And we're doing an awesome job. Everything's syncing together. I set it maybe a little bit smaller than the paddock, but hey, we're getting the job done. And people are happy. That's the main thing.
I love K Tech. I love all you guys. It's one of my favorite spots to be at during the weekend for sure, because I feel the love, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. It's nothing but great energy and aura coming out of K Tech,
right?
All the time. Dude, you're welcome. Obviously, you see me all the time. Matter of fact, I pulled up on you at VIR. I was like, "There's Gill right there. Watch this." I'm gonna pull straight up.
Yeah, definitely. Even before you get ready to leave, I thought you left already. No, yeah. I just take my time, load up, and I'm on my way. Yeah. Oh, also we could do some off-road stuff. Tony's up there in Massachusetts. He's done all the off-road stuff. If you need some off-road K-Tech suspension.
There you go. There you go. So tell everybody, what exactly do you do for K-Tech?
Oh, I just drive the transporter back and forth. I get them back and forth to all the rounds and set up in the hospitality and whatever else they need me to do. When everybody else is busy, I'll jot down what needs to be done, write them up. That's basically if Birch is not there, he's sales and marketing. He may be on the pit lane with with the Honda team, and I'm just there minding shop.
I love it.
And to me, it's like for me to try to get into that right now, I'm not want to be in charge of somebody or responsible for somebody's suspension when they're out there going at this level. You know what I mean? Because they gonna come back at you, hey man, my suspension's not feeling too good, or how many clicks on this shock did you do, or you know what I'm saying? How's my preload going?
Yeah.
No, you gotta talk to one of these guys. I'll direct you to and tell you what you need.
He's over that way. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
He
that
should
way.
be back shortly.
Right.
Call them on the radio and they'll take care of that.
That's
but I
it.
know eventually, you know what I'm saying? I just got the basics. Not enough to just be like, hey, you need to do this, you need to that, but you got the professionals here that can help you out.
And I'm
I
sure
just pass
you
it on
learned
to
a
them.
lot. Yeah, and I'm sure you learned a lot along the way these past 2 years.
Oh
with
yes,
it.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Now I do my own stuff there. And actually that'll happen too when after in 2006, you know, him and Power, you know, shout out to Power AB. He actually was like, hey, Gill, you know, even Lloyd was like, why don't you just get on? Because I haven't raced in so long since 2011. My other, you know, and he knows I can get up there, but I just, like I said, I can't afford that. You know what I mean? It's you know, when you get out there and like need suspension that, but his thing was like, you know, son, get a little bike. You know, get on a 300, 400, you know, you ain't gonna worry about tires and all that stuff. I said, you know what? So that's what I was gonna do, dedicate that. And that's what one season in 2021, I actually got an R3 and I had a lot of help from around the paddock. Chuck G from Formula of Westby Racing helped out, Miles, and then even I called up Skip with the K-Tech. I was one of everything Lloyd's doing, Dunlop and Miles. Everybody just basically showed love and helped me and see what I was going to do. If you look at my livery on the bike, and you'll see, you know, it was all representing him on my helmet and everything else. And I mean, I'll be as fast as how I was going in, but it's been a big gap. But I'm out there as long as, you know, if anybody, when I did the Azure round, if anybody was complaining, I know I didn't get in anybody's way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't cause anybody to do anything, but so there were no complaints. I could be out there, you know, going around and do a couple of laps, especially at Daytona. I'll probably be at Daytona then because you can't miss. That's every year. Plus the family's down there, and I'm gonna stop by and see his mom and dad and them. So that's mainly the tradition for me. Just, you know, you can't miss Daytona up on the back. And I remember when we first went there, it was like we stood up there, walked up, and was like, man, we're gonna be up there, and neither of us was scared. We couldn't anticipate to do it. We couldn't wait for that first practice round to just go around there. And it was awesome, having fun.
That's right. You know, Daytona is such a magical place, and you're right. The banking, again, that's one of the tracks that don't do it no justice. When you're there in real life, you're like, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait.
It was ultimate, man. Even through the season, you know, David Lloyd is number 55, him battling. Even before that, Seth Starnes, they were going back at it. And it's just goes to this day. I see him, you know, he knows. He knows.
Yeah, big shout out to Seth Starnes, man. He does next level suspension too.
Yes, he came by. Where were we that time? I think he was. I can't remember. He did come by.
We were at Road Atlanta.
Yes, definitely. Road Atlanta. Yes.
Yeah, Road Atlanta, and then I seen him at the first time I met him was Daytona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met him in real life at Daytona is what I call it. In real life, we finally meet, right? Yeah, and then at Atlanta, because I remember me and you were actually standing there talking.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was me, you, Dakar. No, it was me, you, Kendall, Birch, and then Dakar had to go do something, or Kendall had to go do something. I mean, you were sitting there talking actually about this podcast. That's exactly what we was talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming up with the time and the date and all that good stuff. Yes. That's awesome. So you still got your 300 now?
Yeah, I still have it.
And
I was
Daytona.
told not to sell it.
Yeah,
that was Drill Will.
Drill Will. Big shout out to Drill Will, boy.
Yeah, because I went up there. Well, I think I was coming from somewhere. That's after because we did the endurance race at VIR, and he pushed me to do it. And I didn't have new tires on, so I crashed in turn one, put it back together. And the next day he was like, that was actually a race I was in. So then we put it back together, and then he didn't know it was new tire on it. So we brought it back. So I wound up, make a long story longer, I wound up with that bike in his shop on the lift. Stayed there all through the night. He worked all night, even had the body work painted. Yo, they got busy and put it back together. You know,
I love it.
good people there.
Oh yeah, dude. So, I'm obviously a huge fan of Michaela Moore and Drew, her dad and her mom,
Yes.
right? They're absolutely amazing. I love them to death. So, funny story on how me and Will actually met. So, we were
Okay.
at Road America last year. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was the last year she was at BTR. So, I think it was the year before. And I'm in the bathroom and I go in the bathroom stall and I sit down, and all of a sudden I see this foot come up underneath the partition right next to my foot. He's like, "Hey, dude, nice shoes. You had the same. We had the same pink shoes on, same
What?
pink shoes, same black." Yeah, he's like, "I guess we're brothers from now on." I was like, Absolutely, we are." So that's our introduction to meeting right there. So yeah, ever since then, it's yeah, we've been kicking it ever since, man. That whole Moore family is absolutely amazing people. So big
Okay.
shout out to them. Yeah. Every time I see him, it's nothing but hugs and laughs and stories. And I always got to tell that
The
story.
whole family's interesting. How
Dude,
beautiful is that?
I know. I know. I know. And then their other son, he flies. Man, I can't remember his
Oh, well,
name.
Junior. Yes,
Yeah,
Junior. Yes.
Junior. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He
flying all over
flies,
the
yeah,
place.
flying all over the place. Yeah, he actually was flying. I think he was going to fly. He called in to work for Jersey last year because his mama was giving him a hard time.
Right.
Yeah, I was over at the Moto America tent talking, and
Right.
yeah. That whole family's absolutely amazing. I actually miss seeing Michaela at Moto America, but she will be back.
Okay. Yes. Looking forward to that.
She will be
Meet
back.
her in the paddock.
Yeah, y'all stay tuned. She'll be back. So you mentioned earlier you're going to do Daytona in October.
That's the plan.
I love it.
The
I love
endurance
it.
rate there's a tribute to LB.
I love it.
I'm gonna do it solo. I did it last year, but I had no actual help doing certain things. So my by the time I got to the wall, my rear stand was in the garage and the fueling was. So I was down like 7 laps, but I would have finished that whole thing. But I should be prepared a lot better for that.
I
Probably
love
be the
it.
only 300 on the track, but hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna do my best.
Hey, I'm a huge advocate of. I think there's a lot of. It's hard for us men to put our egos to the side, especially when it comes to motorcycles. And what I mean by that is everybody thinks, Gil, that I got to have the 1000, I got to have the Ducati V4R, the big bike, and spend the $6,000 on this exhaust and all this crap, right? I'm like, absolutely not. What you need to do is buy your 300 or 400 and properly learn the race technique and really learn how to ride, and then you move up. It is, people say racing is expensive. Absolutely is. But there are cheap ways you can go racing, 250, 300, 400, especially
Right.
when you're new to the sport and you get into it. Let's just be honest. A set of tires is going to last you at least a half a season
Yes.
because you're not
Yes.
even going to be pushing them. You probably don't
Right.
even need tire warmers. Let's just be honest, right? I mean, you
Right.
do need tire warmers, but you're not going to be able to push them. So
Right.
until you start out riding your 300, so you're out riding that stock suspension, all the adjustments you made, thicker fluid, PVC pipe in the front, all this stuff. Then you step up to aftermarket suspension, obviously, such as K-Tech.
Right.
And then you progress even faster, right? I think that if people would, again, it's hard for us men, especially with egos. We show up to the track, we think we're going to beat everybody. I'm Ricky Badass Road Racer. I'm Valentino Rossi. I don't even know. And you get out there,
Yeah.
and this little 12-year-old comes by you on the outside, and you look down at your tank, and you see this big pie. And you're like, where'd the pie come from? Oh, my friend, you get ready to eat a whole lot of that, right? It's
Oh yeah.
yeah, a whole lot of that humble pie.
I've been buzzed by them. See, that's the whole thing too. I just definitely gonna take it to. I still fairly just gonna learn. I want to learn the proper way, and hopefully at Jersey, I will be. And I'm like, oh, this is what I've been doing wrong all these years. And just have some fun, and then go to Daytona and say, hey, just gonna have some fun. As long as I can go out there and put the helmet on, and have a smile on my face, I'm good, and don't cause any disturbance between any other riders, which I haven't, and that's it.
I
That's it.
love it.
Keep a smile on my face. I'm still out there.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, it's so have you and Birch ever rode on the track together yet?
That's a funny story because Birch, we trying to link it up together. Got to hear him talking all his smack, but he's ready to come out there and have some fun. Matter of fact, it's in the back of his printer right now. He's heading back home. So that's how bad it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? We're going to eventually get on the track together.
I
We're
love
eventually
it.
going to get on the track together. He's been calling everybody out, and I'm like, well, listen, you know what? When we get back, we'll see what's up. Because usually it's weird. Because usually but not VAR, but usually there's a track day after every race weekend. But I remember back in the day, every Monday was either cars at VIR. You know, the Porsche guys there or the BMWs. But it'd be a couple days before they would actually have bikes on the track. And it's being not too far away. We'll see. I think there's somebody gonna be there this weekend, but no, gotta go.
Yeah, I'll be there
Probably
with
gotta head to
Precision
Mid
Track
Ohio
Days.
probably Tuesday night.
So this weekend at VIR, I'm going Saturday to meet the owners because Precision Track Days are going to be there.
Oh, okay. That's what
Yeah.
okay. I think Kenna was telling me about that.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna be there this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there this week, man. You know,
Okay.
I gotta go to man. Look, I stay at the track, club races, of course, Moto America.
Okay.
I like to go and support all my friends and meet new friends and get new people on the podcast that's never been on the podcast before and get everybody's story out there. Yeah, network and you know, I show up and have a lot of fun. That's what I love to do. You know, show up my love and support for everybody. Even if I haven't met you, I'm still going to be at that fence going, "Let's go!" Woo!
Yeah.
Like I remember at Atlanta, I'm standing there and this dude's like, "Dude, every time somebody comes by, you're going like this. Like, why you keep doing that?" And I'm like, "Bro, I know 95% of the paddock. All these are my friends. Like I support all of them, right? Like, let's go. Like, why aren't you doing that? I'm confused right now, right? Like,
yeah,
it's yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, so Precision, where I'm at from my doorstep, it's like 6 hours and 3 minutes to Mid Ohio. So it's not far. I'll be leaving Friday morning because we can't check in the Airbnb till Friday afternoon. So I'm gonna leave Friday morning, probably about 7, 8 o'clock. I should be there 2 o'clock, going straight to the track, picking up the credentials, and coming by K-Tech, and they'd be like, man, they'll just let anybody in, won't they? Like,
yeah. And you come there and that first practice, you smell that race fuel, bring a smile to your face.
Nothing like it.
Yeah. I know there was some bits and pieces that I was jumping around, but maybe next time we try it again, I'll be able to have some more stuff lined up the way it should have been lined up. But the stories are unlimited, which you know, as time goes by. But I tapped on a bunch of the situations and a bunch of the good times, and I really appreciate you. We finally got together. You've been saying this for a minute, and here we are. So it's a shout out to you, man. You got an awesome podcast, and always been a fan. And thank you.
Thank you. It's an absolute honor, man. You know, I say it all the time. I get emotional when I hear stuff like that because I never thought in a million years, one, I'd be a podcaster, and two, be it's to be accepted, right? That's the key. And all the beautiful friends such as you and everybody else in the paddock and all the love I get, it's overwhelming. It's an absolute honor.
You're legit. So
I
good,
appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. I do. So listen, this has been absolutely amazing. We're about 58 minutes into this. I do want to ask you, dude, I told you it's going to go by super quick, but
you're right.
You guys stay tuned because me and this man right here, Gill, we're going to be sitting down for a part 2. Matter of fact, me and you going to schedule that at Mid Ohio. But I do want to get away from all this racetrack talk and all this. And I want to know what you do away from all this, like what you're doing right now at home, right? So let me ask you this. First thing I want to ask you, Gill, is tell us something we don't know about you at all.
Something that you don't know about me at all. Man, you got me there. Which should be a bunch, right? Because nobody really knows. I'm single here, living in Raleigh. I guess because it's difficult to find the right woman that's actually going to come to the track and actually appreciate what I do and what my passion is. So it's going to take a little bit more time than I thought would, but I'm still good because I'm doing what I enjoy doing. Like I said before, I'm LTD. I'm living the dream through these other agencies and teams that will make this possible. And that's about it. As far as fitness, exercising, and I stopped drinking like maybe 25, 30 years ago. you know, and I changed my whole diet, my whole lifestyle. So if you ask the guys, I'm that annoying plant-based guy. So that that's the part right there. That's the big difference about what I do, you know. So it works for me, and it actually works for LB at a later stage in his life. So it's all good, you know. I used to be real adamant, want to push it on people. I'm like, no, 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 no. I just give you a little sprinkles or whatever, and you decide what you want to do.
So funny you mentioned that. Like, I went on this crazy weight loss adventure. It's been probably about 2 years, dude. I was 270 pounds in a 40-inch waist. I'm in a 34-inch waist right now. I'm about 212,
Wow.
215, right? All by change my diet, change my mind. So the way I approach food was completely different. I cut out, it's almost impossible to cut out processed sugar. Let's just be honest, right? But 99.9%. I don't drink soda. I don't drink tea. I barely eat any fast food at all, except for if I'm on the road, right? I mean, there's just times you're like, dude, this is the only thing open. I'm starving. But I've taught myself to fast a lot. So I do like, I enjoy fasting, right?
That's big. That's
Yes.
good. You definitely, and drinking water, man, definitely.
Yeah.
Lots of people
So
are hip on the fasting. Yes.
no, I fast a lot. And then like I drink water. So I got ADHD. I don't take any medicine at all. I'm a big advocate of anything you get from the doctor that comes in a little pill bottle. It's not good for you, right? It's just be honest. There's always natural remedies for it. That's what they did back in the day before medicine was here, and everybody survived. Shit, they even live longer.
We're gonna have a nice conversation soon.
Yeah, me and you at Mid Ohio next weekend for sure. So
Definitely.
you know, my part of my journey in all this weight loss skill was I realized that if I listened to my body of what I was putting into it, it tells me everything I want to know. You just got to listen to yourself. So meaning, let's say, oh, I love Mexican food, right? But if I go to the restaurant and I eat their cheese dip, it makes my nose stopped up. So there's something in that cheese dip that my body is having a reaction to. Now I got to figure out what that is and put that on the shelf. Like I just can't have it, right?
Yeah.
It's a long, drawn out process. Yes, of course, I dabble every once in a while. My nose gets stopped up because it's good. Everything in moderation is not going to hurt you. But listening to what my body was telling me, eat more fruits and raw vegetables. Okay.
Yes.
I love fish. Okay, so I eat fish. I do like steak. Chicken, man, I'm kind of over chicken. It's like chickens and everything, right? So every once in a while I eat chicken. I stay away from a lot of pasta and a lot of breads. Again, I just listen to what my body, man. I just get tired of looking at myself in the mirror and being this guy.
Got the results. Every little bit helps, and you got the results to prove it.
Yeah,
that worked for you.
It did. Absolutely, it did.
Keep it up, man.
Oh, trust me, I am. Absolutely, I am. But yeah, Gill, fasting, you know, real quick before we move on, is I think that played a really huge part, not only for me on my weight loss, but my mental game, right?
Yes, mentally too. Yes.
The mental. That's the biggest thing I noticed was the mental side. The more clarity I had, the more like, okay, yeah, I might be starving now, but that's just right here. You know, I can go X amount of a week or two or whatever it is without eating. I'll be completely fine as long as I drink water.
True.
So learning to fast and push that boundary of, man, I'm starving. I don't care what I eat. I'm going to eat. And I'm like, nope, not doing it. I'm just going to keep it moving forward. And then after a while, that hunger goes away. You're not hungry no more. The next thing you know, I'm like, the longest I've been was 3 days. I fasted straight for 3 days.
Okay. That's a start.
That's a pretty good start, right? Yeah. Like I started out one day. Well, first I started out 16 hours and I was like, well, that was easy. I pushed that, right? And then I did 24 hours and I was like, it was a little difficult, but I did it. So now I know I can do it mentally. I know I can do it now because I've done it. So now let me go 32 hours. Now let me go 36 hours. Now let me go 48 hours. Now let me go blah, blah, blah. And after 3 days, I woke up, man, I felt like $1 million. I was like, oh my God, I'm full of energy. I'm like, let's go, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah. And then when I go back to eating, it's raw vegetables, right? Raw or cooked vegetables, sauteed vegetables, a little thing of brown rice or balsamic rice or something like that. I make my homemade salad dressings. I don't buy store-bought salad dressings.
Yes.
So every little thing like that just added up. And that was that's my beautiful journey into weight loss.
Okay.
I could be a vegetarian. I'm not gonna lie. I pondered on it. I've really been on that. You know, I really don't. I love steak, but I really don't need it. I love seafood, and I'll still eat seafood, right? And I'll still gamble in, but man, I feel better with just a lot of fruits and vegetables and
Yeah.
salads and stuff like that versus, you know, if you do that for a couple of days and you go back to the way you used to eat, you'll totally tell a difference. You'll be like, man, I feel like shit. I'm tired. I can't think right. My mind's not clean. So yeah, I'm with you on
All
that.
right.
Me and you definitely going to chat.
We're
100%.
gonna talk.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Are you a coffee or a drink tea? A coffee or a tea drinker?
Tea, a lot of herbal tea.
So you're like most of my mates in the UK. They're like, coffee? Absolutely not. You got to have some tea, mate. Here you go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like tea too. I do like coffee, but I like it. If I drink coffee, I prefer it straight up black.
That's the way I would do. That's the way I would drink it too.
Yeah, because you actually taste the coffee when you put a bunch of, like my wife, sugar and creamer. I'm like, you're just making a hot milkshake.
Even when I did drink the coffee, I'll put honey in it or some agave, but that's a
Well,
whole different.
1 teaspoon of honey every day is what I started doing too on my weight
Okay.
loss. Wake up in the morning, straight up. That's the first thing I eat. Raw, pure raw sugar. I mean, pure
Right.
raw sugar, pure raw honey. Big old
Yeah.
spoonful. That's how I get my
Yeah.
day started. I like cold plunges and ice baths.
That's one thing I've never tried yet. I've heard about them.
Yeah.
Cold plunge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. Once you, again, it's like going on this diet, that self-discipline. You get in the water. Yeah, it's cold, right? It's an ice bath. It's ice bath, right? But the point is when you get in it, you control your breathing, right? Once you get your breathing down, funny things happen. It's like you're not cold no more, right?
Okay.
And when you get out, man, you feel energized. You just
Right.
it's hard to explain. And then you do it for, like, let's say you do it for a month, not every day. Let's say you do 2-3 times a week. You do it for a month. So you did 12
Right.
ice baths. That next month, if you don't do none, your body's like, I need an ice bath. I need to jump into cold water, right?
Yep.
It helps out with just mental and arthritis and pains and aches and just all that good stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, highly recommend it, man.
That's on my list too. Definitely.
For sure. Everybody knows I like a lot of audiobooks. I'm an audiobook listener too. Do you read or listen to audiobooks yourself?
Say again.
Do you read books or listen to
Oh
any
yeah.
audiobooks?
No, I like to read them.
What book are you currently reading?
It was There, you got me in a spot right now. Dang, where is it? I just put that thing. What the heck? It'll make me get up and go get it. I ain't touched it in about a week. That's probably why.
I'm currently listening to Change Your Mind, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a book I'm currently listening to. Again, it's that, you know, once I started losing all this weight, it opened my eyes to, you know, all the foods at the grocery store and just like all
Right.
that stuff. So, but that's part of waking up, right?
Right.
So, yeah. Are you a spicy food guy?
I will definitely put some cayenne pepper in there.
All
I
right.
definitely have some cayenne pepper.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. So, what advice would you give your younger self?
My younger self, I would pay more attention to the elders and show the respect because the knowledge is there. You know, I was told a few things when I was young, and I was, what's this old person got to do? No. And that's definitely what I would change. That wisdom right there is priceless. And I would definitely do that.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, being young and naive, we think we know everything. Like my son, he's 12. He thinks he knows everything. He's like, yeah, Dad, I know that. I'm like, bro, well, why do we got cell phones and Google and internet if you know everything, right?
Right.
He's just in that mind. But it's hard when you're young to have that open mind. I'll say it that way, right? And again, it's part of putting that ego to the side, thinking you know everything when you don't really know jack. Let's just face it, a 20-year-old don't know nothing, really.
Okay.
Clock in, clock out, right? They no life experience. The older people absolutely have life experience, and when they tell you something, you need to listen,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah. Oh, we're telling you because we want to see you okay, not get hurt, right? That's what I tell my son.
Right.
I'm like, I wouldn't do that. My son's like, yeah, okay, whatever. He'll go out and do it. And I'm like, I told you. But you tell him the same thing. He'll listen to you, but he don't listen to me.
Right.
You know that because you're a dad, right? So
Yeah.
I love it. Let me ask you this: what's one superpower you wish you had?
One superpower I wish I had. I never even thought about that.
Mine would be teleportation.
Say what?
Mine would be teleportation.
Teleportation?
Yeah, because I could be like,
Oh, to go back in time.
no, I could be like, Gil, I'll be at your house literally in 2 seconds. We're going to do this podcast on your couch. Boom, there I am. I'm at your
I
house.
would like to go back in time.
Okay.
I apologize. I was
No,
not
you're
prepared
good.
for these questions.
That's what I do. That's what I do, right? So
I did not know. I didn't pay a close attention enough to the ending of your podcast.
it's quite okay. Now you know, right? With saying that, if you could travel back to any era of time, what time would you travel back to?
I would travel back to the year I was born. There was a lot going on back then. I would go back then. It would have been not a lot. I'd have been schooled about so many different things that I didn't know at that age until later on. And the experiences that would have seen before then would have just enlightened my brain a whole lot more.
Yeah, I like it. It was good. You're the first one that said that. I'd go back to the year I was born.
Yes.
It's awesome. I love it. I love it. What changes would you like to see in our sport?
The changes is, I guess, the more classes for the day, for the weekend. I understand it's supposed difficult, but you see how certain weekends when the baggers are not there, and then the actual talent cup is not there, and for one weekend, and then the twins come one weekend. But I understand it's for a reason, for as far as time wise. But that basically would be it.
Yeah. Have everybody there every race weekend.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's yeah, it's because then I get
I
to see all
understand
my
it's
friends.
budget
It
time
is.
wise, and it's a lot of races. You know, that's that race weekend would be insane for everybody. The whole schedule.
Yeah. No, it would.
But yes.
I would love to see it, you know, as far as changes in our sport go, Gil, I would love to see it go back like it used to be. Obviously, it's not going to be back to the golden days where everybody was getting paid. Club racers were making a living, you know, racing at club events and stuff like that. But I would love to see the costs come down, especially for entry level families coming into Moto America. Because if you took everybody in our grid right now that's 25 years old and older out, who are we left with? Not a whole lot of kids, right?
Right.
We need to build that up if our sport's going to have a future in it. We can't have 8-9 people on the grid and that's it, right? So I would love to see them like have an East Coast round, a West Coast round, a Mid Coast round, and your top 10 people from each class at the end of the year meet in the middle and battle out for one weekend for the championship, because that would keep costs down. So West Coast don't got to come to the East Coast. East Coast ain't got to go to the West Coast. If there is a race in the middle, like Wisconsin, then yeah, everybody's got to show up, obviously, to that. But think about how much more affordability it would be to where parents, your normal average mom and dad that make a combined income of $120,000 a year, let's just be realistic, can actually afford to take their kids racing and get them involved in racing, right? That's something we need in our sport in order to also help it grow. Yeah, you know, now it's just so expensive, especially, you know, Talent Cup. It's great. I like the Talent Cup. It's freaking fantastic, but it's super expensive for an entry level family, for a 12, 14-year-old to spend $100,000 for a season at an entry level for Moto America.
Right.
You know, because you got the bike's $23,000, $24,000. You got to have two, and then the spares, and then the entry level fees, and then the cost of travel and food. And but by the time you buy two bikes, you're 50 grand in the hole. That's just buying the two bikes. That's no spares, you know? So I would just love it to see it more readily available for our future kids to come into the sport. And that's why I'm such a huge fan of BTR, Build Train Race, right?
Yes.
What they're doing is absolutely phenomenal, especially for the women in our sport. Because I'm a big advocate.
Right.
Yeah, women belong in our sport, 110%. You know, if they can do it, and I understand they're paying a shit ton of money in order to do this, right? But
Right.
why can't we come up with some other type of program based around BTR? Not necessarily BTR, but a similar program to that to help kids get into our sport, entry
That's
level
true.
into Moto America. And that gives them 2 years because it's a 2-year program. So they got 2 years to first year to learn the way around Moto America, start building up your trying to get sponsorships and all that. The next year, attack, win the championship, whatever. But that gives you 2 years to get your stuff together to be like, okay, we're on our second year. I definitely want to go to Twins Cup next year because I'm out of BTR or whatever, right? So it gives you time and opportunity. It gives you time to put your name out there and all that good
Right.
stuff. As you know, there's a lot of women from BTR that's in our paddock right now.
True.
All because of the doors that BTR opened.
True.
You know, so
Definitely.
yeah, huge fan of BTR. And yeah, so listen, we're about 1 hour and 20 minutes in this. I'm gonna ask you one more question. I'm gonna save the rest of them for our part 2.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
dude, you're welcome. What's your go-to karaoke song?
My go-to karaoke song is actually, man, I don't know. It was from Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody.
I love it. What a great song. It's a great song.
Caught you off guard with that one, huh?
Yeah, you did, man. I love it, dude. Hey, I was jamming them out, man. Listen. It was when it comes to music, man. I listen to Frank Sinatra, old rock, rap,
I'm all over there too.
Country. It depends on what mood I'm in. I'm like, let's go. You know, it's funny because I'll be jamming Frank Sinatra, and people are like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? You don't know who this is? You need to live." Like, yeah, you need to live. Put the Backstreet Boys down and open up that mind.
Open it up. It's so wide. The variety of music.
Bro. Anyway, listen, Lloyd, it's been an absolute honor. I got to give all my shout outs real quick, and then I'm going to let you give all your shout outs. First thing and foremost, I want to say is thank you so much for everybody that likes and subscribe. Everybody that watches this podcast, it shows me nothing but love and support. I say it all the time. You guys are proper mega, and I love each and every single one of you. If it wasn't for my buddy Gill and everybody else coming on here, I would not be able to do this. So you guys are the absolute proper mega superstars. It's an absolute honor to be able to do this. And I just don't know what else to say. If you had not yet, please go out and hit the likes and the bells and all that good stuff. Big shout out to Next Level Financial, Chef Eats, TST Industries, the Clothing Kings. Everybody asked me about my shirts and my hats and my soft shell jackets. You can go to clothingkings.co.uk and get all your Pin to Gas merch. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP. I need everybody to go to miniusasbk.com. If there's any kids out there or parents out there that want to get your kids involved in the sport, go to that website, sign up and register. You don't need boots, gloves, jackets, bike, leathers, nothing. All that is provided for you when you show up to the track. It's an absolute amazing program, and that's where all the future legends of our sport are coming out of. You got Posh, Anthony Mazziato, Avery and Ella Dreyer. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So big shout out to SFL Mini GP. Big shout out to RD Racing and my man Jake Marsh out there in the UK. For any of my vets out there, my buddy Jim Whitman has go to his website called Vet2Track, vet like cat vet, 2track.org. Anybody out there battling PTSD, you got all this stuff going in your head. What Jim does is he brings you out there at the track. You get involved with the team or get on the bike yourself, and you have fun with like-minded people. So all this you got right here, all that noise, it goes away. And you have nothing but peace right here, and you build family and bonds, right? And now you have something to look forward to. So that website, again, is vet2track.org. I have 2 people that make undersuits, and you're not going to go wrong by ordering from any one of them. One is 64 Degree Racing. Big shout out to my man Tate. Absolutely proper mega. I got 2 of his undersuits, and they're my favorite undersuits. The second one, is venomsport.com. Mama Aliki, she is absolutely amazing human being. She actually sent me one of my favorite t-shirts that I own. And yes, I'm going to be getting an undersuit from her too. My big advice to everybody getting into the sport, don't show up to the track with just one undersuit or two undersuits. Bring more undersuits than you do clothes, because you can always wear one of those home. I mean, right? So I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com and donate to the air fences. It's imperative that we have the air fences. If we don't have the air fences, Gil's not showing up. I'm not showing up. The riders ain't showing up. So anything and everything helps, whether it's $5, $10, whatever. Yeah. It's much appreciated. And on that note, big shout out to all the corner marshal workers too. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Again, without you, we wouldn't be able to show up and have fun. So big shout out to BTR. And on that note, man, I'm so proud of all my women this year at BTR, all my girlfriends. You guys absolutely rock. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Kara, you're absolutely amazing. 2025 champion. Let's freaking go.
All right.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you girls next year. Big shout out to KYT helmets. If you're not on K-Tech suspension, I don't know what you're riding on, but you need to get on that K-Tech, baby. Let's go.
Right.
Ghetto Customs for your custom body work. I got 3 friends that make graphics. You're not going to go wrong. No, dude, you're good. I got 3 friends that make custom graphics. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from any one of them. The first one is Drippin' Wet. Second one is REB Graphics. And the last one is GRG Designs, which is by Gus Rodeo. Big shout out to Woodcraft, Mark 10 Motorsports, Free Hug Racing, Nicole Polyich Photography, Stick Boy Racing, Adrenaline Engineering, Pit Lane Moto, TBEX, USAExperience.org, CW Moto, Truth Be Told Apparel.com, Remix Racing Project. And yeah, man, Gil, it's been an absolute honor to have you on this podcast, my friend. Is there anything you want to say before we get off the podcast?
Big shout out to my team there, K-Tech Suspension, Skip Dowling, Christian, my man Dakari, Guts and Apexes, Kendall, Triple T, Birch. We're going to get on the track soon, Birch. Willie, Tony, and all the rest of the staff that goes along. Dunlop, who's been a big supporter of my close friend. And, man, I can't think of anyone. And to you, sir, for having me on this show. I appreciate that. It's my first podcast, so I hope I did well. It'll be better next time. I'll be better prepared. But actually, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, my friend. You absolutely killed it today. Proud of you too, my
you
friend.
You saying that, man.
No, I'm not. I'm being for real. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's
too polite.
Listen, it's true, because when I have friends that come on here that's never done a podcast, yeah, you're nervous at the beginning, but as we start talking, bro, all those nerves go away. Like you have a better feeling now than you did when we first went live, right? Yeah. Right. So yeah, because we were friends before we did this, right? So we're already friends. We already got this relationship established. We're just sitting down. We're just talking about you and your experiences. That's the only difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, Gil, absolute honor. This episode will be out everywhere, Spotify, iHeart, all that good stuff tomorrow. I'll tag you and send you all the links and all that good stuff. Okay. And yeah, listen, my friend, I can't wait to see you at Mid-Ohio. I hope the rest of your week is as proper mega as you are, and I will see you soon.
Okay, sir.
All right, buddy. Be good. I'll see you later.
All right.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.